It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, all you Days fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, X, Twitter, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us live and in living color right now, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live. Oh, and if you haven't searched our YouTube channel lately or before, check out previous episodes of Dishin Days, plus some exclusive interviews from the Daytime Emmys and Day of Days past, in case you haven't seen those. So check them out. Also, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast station in case you are taking us on a walk, or you're walking your dog, or you're pumping iron in the gym, or you're stuck in traffic and need to know what stunt shows and shenanigans happened in Salem this week. Head on over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Search Dishin Days and follow us on your favorite podcast station. That way, we're always with you. Also, make sure you show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr., who is serving up a few dishes of his own. Check out recaps of Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless, and also some original audio dramas written, produced, created, and sometimes starring Mr. James Lott Jr. himself. Because James Lott Jr. is my dear oldest friend who remembers when we started using a pencil to write. Love you, James. Also, make sure you tell us your thoughts while you're live in our chat, or if you're watching us later or listening to us later, comment below and let us know what you think. Some of you have definitely been doing that. Side note, I should probably mention, someone felt as if it was not funny and uncharacteristically of me to use the J.D. Vance reference of the childless, catless woman last week.
Oh.
And I said, well, I did reply. Then I deleted the comment. Because they started with, I know you were joking, but it wasn't funny. I'm like, well, if you knew I was joking, maybe it's not funny to you, but we got a chuckle out of it and we moved on.
Yeah, I was joking, and it was funny. I was outraged, and it was still funny. Because, guys,
sometimes you can take things and just spin it in a different way, and, you know.
Now, if anyone is offended on my behalf, I appreciate it, but I'm a big girl. And Tony and I are cool like that, so we're fine, guys.
Yeah.
If we're fine, you should be fine.
You should be fine. Like, Araceli knows that, you know, I didn't mean it in a malicious way. It's more of a hee ha ha. I mean, you are childless. You're not catless.
And I am childless in the traditional sense that people think.
In the sense of you don't have your own, but she does have babies.
I have I have so many babies, guys.
So many. So yeah, anywho. But we do read your comments. So make sure you leave them.
Everything's good here, guys. It's okay.
Listen, we are a lighthearted, fun show. We make jokes, we laugh. I mean, hello, we are recapping a fictional show that we are all captivated by.
Listen, folks, there are hobbies out there. Find one.
And there you have it. That announcement brought to you by Mr. Justin Lee Hareld, who, quote, ain't got time for that. All right, y'all, let's get into it. What did we think of this week's episodes of Days?
Really good.
Intriguing.
Yeah, really good this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how like there are moments where the pace is slow and we're kind of over it, but
Mhm.
then there's points where it's like we're not getting story, but the acting is just
Yeah.
so good and we're kind of teased just enough. It's so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real and I'll be honest, it's really tricky. It can be a fine line to walk to not give people the full story, not give the audience the full story and expect them to hang on. Um, Sometimes it can veer the other way, but this week I felt like it was just the acting was so spot on. I was really right there with it.
Mhm.
I felt like this week was giving like, where are we going with this? But in a good way.
Yeah.
Yes.
In like a, all right, you done did it. Where's the ride leading to now?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think by Friday we were all like, oh, mm, that darn show, that darn days. Well, speaking of that darn days, let's get into it. Da, 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 da. It is now time to start
Dishin Days.
Dishin Days.
Yes.
Close. We really need to record that. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we have to
happen
make
one
that a
day
priority when we get together for Day of Days. We have to just do it.
at some point. At some point. All right. Let's kick things off with the top storyline. Abigail is back. Oh, on second thought. Um, what did y'all think?
I so
You don't.
okay.
No
So
one.
we
No one.
already
No one knows where
knew.
to start.
Okay, so we already knew that the casting of Annalyn McCorder was going to be a big deal. It was made a big deal. Fans went nuts what they found out, and then we were kind of on the fence of like, well, why are they announcing it so early?
Mm-hmm.
This week, we got at least that answer. We at least got the behind the scenes answer of why they cast her so early, why they released her casting so early without telling us who she's playing, because she's that good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's that good. We have no answers. We if it's at all possible, we have more questions this week than we did last week. And I'm not annoyed by it.
Friday definitely left us in a okay, because she looked around. Everything is going according to plan. I literally was like, "What plan, ma'am? What plan?
I have
What
to
plan?"
for as much as we complain, like the rollout of this character and everything, I gotta say they're playing this so perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Just the rollout of there were so many different layers to the storyline. I don't know about you guys, but did you like there were certain hints, and it like you said, there's a reason they hired Anna Lynn. And if you don't know her work, go watch it even outside of 90210. She was great on that, but she's done so much more, as many interesting, amazing projects with that. But just the subtle hint she was giving during the week about things, and it was like, okay, I'm catching on. First of all, I knew. I mean, I didn't think she was Abigail to begin with, but soon as Kayla, when they were in that room, and Kayla was like retested Jack's DNA, I was like, she's not Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're already starting off wrong by testing. You're testing Jack. I was like, she's not. She can't be Abigail if you're testing Jack. I just knew it.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Well, for me, as everything was unfolding, I kind of put myself in her shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, if these strangers plucked me out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, took me to Salem, and now are saying I am this person who I don't remember, and keep introducing me to my dad, my husband, my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
They want to introduce me to the children. Mom is on the way. I would be like, I don't know y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have a moment to
Exactly.
process before I get introduced. I ain't got Abigail's face.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got her. Like, I just, one day I woke up and was like, boop. So let me process some things.
Yeah.
And
But
everything.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we know why now, because she obviously is conning them. So a con
Yes.
artist is like, sure, I'll go with you to Salem. I'll
Well,
get on a plane out of nowhere.
she
And
had some reluctancy. She's had some reluctancy, and then she's just kind of been like, okay, which I can appreciate. But at the same time, I'm just like, y'all are carrying this woman too fast.
Mm-hmm.
She is
yeah.
not ready for this life. She has been single, living in this room in front of a sign that she's probably read 50 times. Million.
So let me ask you guys, where are you at with it? Because I had said I don't believe she's Abigail, and again, we kind of know that now. But also, did you get tripped up by the DNA test and thinking it was someone else? Yeah, part of me was like on Monday, I was like, when she tested Jack, I was like, okay, you don't test Jack, you test the kids, because testing Jack is not going to tell you if she's Abigail, which it didn't. I was like, okay, that's a clue right there. Once she said that, I was like, there's something going on here. Then when she came back with the tests that were saying she's Jax, I was like, okay, is she another daughter or is she Gwen? I thought, but I was like, the timing may not make sense.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that too. And then when it was the ending, I was like, okay, this is a con, plain and simple. This is a generic con.
Well, let me tell you what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
At first, when it was revealed that the DNA test showed that she was like 50% Jax,
Yeah.
my mind, I literally was like getting ready and my mind wandered and I was like, wait, didn't Kate and Jack have like a little thing? But then I was like, no, that wouldn't produce a full grown child. But then I was also like, it's Days. Like, so that was actually my first thought, was that somehow this kid belongs to Jack and Kate, right? And then I was like, wait, that can't be possible. And then I was like, now wait a minute. And I'm like, everyone in the chat is saying this, and Justin, you just said it. I was kind of scared to say it because I don't know what the reveal is going to be. And side note, ever since that person tweeted us that they're listening to our podcast from months ago, and they were like, 5 months later, y'all were right. I was like, I don't remember that.
That's my friend.
I don't remember being right 5 months
That's
later.
that's my friend. She's literally texting me all the time, like, you were right about that.
So, but I did think, like, is it Gwen? Because there have been a lot of phone calls from Leo to Gwen. But Gwen is not answering. Like, it's like he's leaving messages. And so I was just like, but then I was also kind of like, well, why would you do that to Emily? Like, she could have just left as Teresa and came back as Gwen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There are a lot of theories. There are a lot of questions. But it's very intriguing that this is all going on.
It very well could be Gwen. That's a distinct possibility. Though I don't get malicious from Annalyn's portrayal. And I feel like there was a certain, even before we knew, way back when, even before we knew Gwen's full intentions for Abigail, there was always a malicious undertone in everything that she did. You know, everything was just too sweet, too perfect, too everything to be true. And then it was ultimately revealed, even before we knew that she was Jack's daughter, it was ultimately really revealed that she was working against Abigail. I don't get malicious from Annalyn's portrayal. It seems like this is a con, but but I would push back on the theory that this is a generic con. Perhaps this is blackmail of some kind. perhaps this is a Gwen with no memory. You know, there's a lot of different ways that this can play out, which is why everybody's throwing theories against the wall, because at this point they're all possible.
Yeah. I'm also thinking though the test is fake. So I mean it's either Gwen in the test is real, but I kind of think the test is fake. So to me it sort of that rules out Gwen, I guess.
Because she did say that everything is going to plan.
Yeah.
So far, thinking about what the plan could be, is the plan seems to be to make her seem like she's Abigail.
Yeah.
But who is she really?
Mm-hmm.
And does she have any connection to anyone in Salem?
Mm-hmm.
And if she does, why is she going after them in this way? Because remember, Gwen came in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
She had a plan of kind of getting back at the Devereaux before it was revealed of who she was.
Yeah.
Not saying that this is Gwen, but I'm just saying, just someone else coming in with a plan that involved the Devereaux, and now Chad and the kids.
Yeah, and Melissa's making a good point in the chat that we did at one point see Emily playing Gwen, and that would have been last.
It was when he bought the paper. I forget.
That would have been about around last November. So would she have been able to get that extensive plastic surgery in that amount of time? And for those saying, we also have been getting a lot of straight to voicemail phone calls from Leo to Gwen. But I do remember that he called her within the last month, 2 months, and she did pick up once.
Yeah.
We didn't hear the other end of that conversation, but she did pick up once, and ever since she's been sending him straight to voicemail. So it's just, so many possibilities.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the Gwen thing is a misdirect.
Could be.
Yeah.
I just hope this.
Mm-hmm.
I love Days. I'm always a fan with open arms. I just hope us being invested in this as we are leads to a major and not a.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't take us all the way, and then the reveal comes, and you're like, really, bitch? That's we've been invested. Popcorn is out, tea mugs have been filled, and then this is where we end up.
Look, Days has been keeping me pretty happy lately, especially post strike scripts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a very interesting storyline, and I think it's one that is definitely captivating people. But this goes back to what I was saying last week about the need to tell us who's coming in 2025. I don't think that's needed. I think there's stuff that's coming up that we need to be more involved in and intrigued by than to trying to figure out how is somebody coming back on this show.
Yeah.
We need to open. I hereby, on August 18th, 2024, at 3:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't think it's Standard Time, but I'm going to say Standard Time.
Pacific Time.
We have opened the case of who this woman. It is official.
She's not Abigail.
Nope. We are looking for clues as far as who this woman is talking to and who she really is. Because she's done said everything is going to plan. In the room that Abigail was murdered in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is also classic Days? Y'all do too much right off the bat. If she was Abigail, I think it would have went at a slower pace. But the fact that they did the DNA test, Chad wanted to be with her, going to the DeMere mansion, doing all this stuff, meeting everybody. Here comes Jennifer. I'm like, classic Days. It's not what you think it is initially.
Mm-hmm.
Also think like if Abigail was coming back to the show or rising from the dead, like it would be a bigger thing. Like we'd have promos of it. It would, I don't know. There's like, yeah, there's a, I don't know, like a calmness or just like wait and see what happens to the storyline that doesn't suggest we're bringing a major character back from the dead, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no like energy behind it. So
John Del Rey. Maybe I'm Abigail.
I will say I love her chemistry with Billy Flynn. I think
yes,
the chemistry. So whoever she is, hopefully they stay in each other's orbit for a little while.
And can we give a shout out to Billy Flynn this week? And
you must.
I need to, because I feel like the way that he played Chad really just very subtly, very taking everything in. It's all in the eyes. Was just.
I also feel like they've been like underplaying Billy for quite some time. Like he hasn't been really like in the forefront. He's just kind of been like coasting for a while. So I'm glad to see like things are picking up. And yeah, he did an amazing job this week. Y'all don't tell him that. Please don't tweet this man and tell him that I said something good about him. I like to keep our rivalry alive.
You can tell him I said something good about him.
Megan is like me. That banh mi sandwich looked yummy. But they were really trying to make it Abigail with the likes and the sandwiches and she Annalyn has a little bit of comedy to this as well, because there were some moments where she would say something and I'm like, we're teetering on like a Bart-ish kind of character where it's like but it's an interesting storyline. I think so far we're very intrigued by it.
And I think she's good at playing if she's good at pretending to be this mysterious woman who doesn't know who she is. Like she's not, like we haven't seen a tell from her. She hasn't like slipped up and said something she shouldn't have had. She's been playing it very, very good.
Oh, and one more thing that we need to touch on, because I was just like, the interaction in the DeMera living room with Stefan. Guys, they finally said it. Stefan did rape Abigail.
That was a big back and forth on this show. Like, was it rape? Was it not? Was it? I mean, that was one of the things that we talked that into the ground, honey.
And the time is long past for us to be debating that. It shouldn't be a debate anymore. In the same way that Kristen raped Eric, and yes, Kristen did rape Eric, Stefan raped Abigail. It doesn't mean that he is the most terrible person for the rest of time, but he did it. We're not erasing that. He is no longer denying that. So we shouldn't either. Period.
I don't know. It's just it's so I don't know. It's so weird, especially with like a DID sort of a thing where like she came under Gabi with a Y, from what I remember. Like she basically came on to him, and then he went for it, and it was just, I don't know. It was just, for me, it was just confusing because it's like, I know the vessel is Abigail, but it's like, because then now I think of Bobby and Everett. Like if Everett and never mind. I don't want to get into it.
I was like, where?
Yeah. No, if we bring up the DID for every single character, we'll be here all dang day.
But listen, if they wrote it that he admitted that he raped Abby, It is said, or it is written.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Anywho,
Yeah.
that's it with that storyline. We're gonna see where that goes. Very intrigued by it, and kudos and shout out to Anna Lynn McCord because Mama is rocking.
Yeah.
This show so far. I'm very intrigued by her.
Mm-hmm.
There's something so like I love when someone comes on the show and they're so grounded and they just know what they're doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not to well.
The fact that she knows what she's doing, but we don't know what she's doing, it just makes it so much
But
better.
let's also be honest. She probably don't know full well the storyline either. They were just like, but she's doing a great job.
Yeah, she is.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to her.
Yeah.
I hope we get a chance to chit chat with her. I think that would be a great interview.
Yeah.
Yes.
For
It'd
sure.
be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's move on to our next storyline, which is oh my god, oh Miss Fiona strikes again. Fiona, you supposed to come into Salem and sit down, honey. Like you are causing a ruckus. Ruckus. Miss Fiona, what are you doing, honey? You were just supposed to be a woman of a certain age who was in town having a good time. She done got in here. She done dropped the bomb to be like, that letter wasn't written, but that's it. Xander, boom. She is in helping Brady stay off the wagon. Boom. Doing it with Brady. Boom. Now this accident with Brady. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, geez Louise, woman.
This
You
is
turned
again
Salem upside down.
when you get top talent in here to play these characters. Like she, similar to Anna Lynn, she's also playing. She's teetering a bit, you know. Like we've talked about her like having some ulterior motives for like the stuff with Xander and the money, but also caring about Xander and wanting to have a relationship with him and all of that. Now we see the stuff with Brady, and she's framing him, but we also see the reluctance in her a bit about doing it. It's not a malicious screw him. It's more like I want to save my own ass kind of a thing. So yeah, and Serena's giving that to us.
Yeah. My aunt is not confused at all about Fiona. She texted me right after she saw the episode and she said, "That bruja is gonna frame Brady, isn't he?" And I'm like, "Yep."
Can someone explain this to me? All of these instances, and I'm not saying that a woman can't be strong enough, because women are powerful. Women are amazing. Women can do anything that they put their mind to. I just would like to figure out how is it that Fiona was able to move a 6 foot 3, 4 muscly man from the passenger seat to the driver's seat.
Slowly.
Yeah.
You got the one, I mean, you got the one leg and then the other leg, and slowly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they keep wanting us to believe that, like, you might as well say, Leo carried Xander through Horton Town Square with no problem, and no one noticed.
I have an easier time believing that Fiona could do that than Leo could.
True.
Are you saying because they look like they're probably the same height?
No, Fiona's taller.
This is true.
Fiona is taller.
I wonder how tall is she? Because she does seem like a very tall woman.
Yes.
She is taller, and she can walk in heels. And I always say, if you can hold your own balance and strength in the heels, you can do anything.
Let me tell you what, we saw that she could walk in heels, she could tiptoe in heels, she could run in heels, she can drive in heels.
Yep.
Because she came out and did the... Ma'am, Ma'am, it's Sarah. Then you have, first of all, Paul Telfer is. This is a moment where you just know he knows how to kiki. Oh, Sarah, Sarah, my love. I'm like, first of all, if I'm looking for either one of y'all in the Horton Town Square, it's gonna be very much Justin. Justin. Hello. His was like out of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah, my darling. My love, Sarah.
He's
Okay,
on honeymoon high.
I
Yeah.
can already see where this is going for Day of Days. You and Paul are going to have a who does Xander better contest, aren't you?
Oh no, I don't know if I can be put on the spot like that.
I can already see it.
I mean, maybe we'll give each other it'll be like lines that Xander has said, and I have to mimic them, and then Paul can like say it to see if I got close. Like my favorite. Whose knickers are these?
Yeah, well, I mean, that contest has already been done. He said you nailed it, so.
And got an 11 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But okay, so Sarah was hit by the car that Fiona was driving.
Yes.
Yes. Fiona drove the car. She moved Brady. She managed to not lose her shoes in the process.
Yes.
She was able to get Brady to the penthouse and parked in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
So this is where I was like, where are we going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we left Sarah, who was okay, wait, before we go to Sarah in the hospital, can we go to Sarah in the Horton Town Square before the accident happened?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, y'all film things to where it makes me feel like you had enough time to move out of the way.
Oh, with the deer in headlights thing.
Because it was like boom. Like for me, I would have been like, oh, like move out.
Or they can at least pretend like the actor's moving out of the way. You can still get hit, but like pretend like there's a reaction there and not. Yeah.
It's like quick camera work, right?
Yeah.
Like it could have been like cut to Sarah walking out, cut to Fiona, cut to and while we're at Fiona being like, and then cut back to Sarah really quick to being like, ah! Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's it. Instead of like, now who is that coming towards me? Ooh, they lights are bright. Uh-oh, are they finna hit me? They gonna hit me. I think they gonna hit me. Ah! Boom, they hit me. She was there for quite a bit.
Yeah. Now, I know that we're supposed to suspend, the fiction versus nonfiction in this storyline, but I'm going to have a lot of trouble doing that and hope that Lindsay didn't have trouble doing that, because some fans will know, if you don't know, this is one of those soapy storylines that actually did happen to Lindsay Godfrey like 10 years ago now.
She got hit by a car?
She got hit by a car. You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't know that? That's why that's why people are freaking out, because she got hit by a car. So
the only thing that I known was when
is a cancer survivor.
That.
So yeah.
No, but no, wasn't there something that happened on set?
I don't remember anything that happened on set necessarily. Lee.
Oh,
No, and so Lindsay's been through the ringer. Lindsay
yeah.
had cancer as a kid, as a teenager, and then she had her daughter while she was working over at Bold and the Beautiful, and within a year of having her daughter, she got hit by a car.
Oh my goodness.
It was a freak accident, and it was bad. Her leg was broken and everything. It was bad. She was able to come back to work on crutches, but it was one of those like freak. So, oh, you think this happens all the times on soaps? And I actually thought about it. It's like this happens more on soaps than happens in real life, kind of a thing. You don't expect to hear that happen in real life, but no, it happened to her.
I wonder what her reaction was when she read that. Like,
Yeah.
if she
Yeah.
looked like.
So now, yeah. So now, guys, when you watch the interview we did with them, this is what Paul and Lindsay were sort of hinting at, sort of their real life coming into a storyline. This is
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, this was it. And I kind of had an inkling that was what it was going to be, but then I'm like, would they really go there? Because it's like, if you're a soap actor, you know, you expect to get hit by a car, hit by something at some point in your
But not in
storyline.
real life.
Not in real life. You don't expect that in real life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like retroactively playing that, but then I'm thinking like, well, would it have been more traumatic if they had given Sarah cancer and and Lindsay was a cancer survivor, and that's also more realistic.
Yeah.
My hello mom, she has made it into the chat. She texted me and was like, I'm coming in. I have to watch it on my phone. John Del Rey mentions that Michelle Stafford's Single Mom A Go-Go interview with Lindsay is where she speaks candidly about it. So
Okay.
you guys can check that out.
Yeah.
This was one of those moments where I was like, where are we going with this? Because not only did you get Sarah hit by a car, but now she's like, I don't feel my legs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And somebody actually mentioned to me that this actually, storyline wise, harkens back to Maggie's trouble.
Oh, when Maggie was paralyzed.
With her paralysis.
Yeah.
Not only with her paralysis that she had a couple years back when, you know, Victor helped her, but just going all the way back to Maggie's original storyline. Remember, Maggie was a cripple.
Yeah. It's interesting to tie that. Yeah. Tie it all together.
So it's all very complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now we have Brady sort of questioning whether he was the driver, and the clues sort of adding up now.
Well, because he was like, he called Fiona and was like, what happened? Because he woke up in the driver's side, doesn't remember getting home. He is like scared that it's one thing to fall off the wagon, but it's another thing to drive home drunk. On top of all that, walking in and realizing your daughter has had a premonition, and that Kristen is looking at you like,
too funny. This was a great use of them, but usually sometimes it's like, okay, here we go with this like custody storyline thing. But I thought that they used Kristen and Rachel here perfectly. Perfectly. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And good old snarky Rachel with the throwing away Marlena's pancakes. Like, I love Grandma, but you know she can't cook.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that one person that, like, you know, in your life is perfect beyond belief, except for this one little thing. Yeah. Woman can't cook. It's okay because we don't love her for her cooking.
Yeah.
Someone said the accident happened on the same set that Jennifer ran over Gwen. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Yep.
The same stuff.
That's when she was hopping up on them pills.
Oh God.
Interesting.
Too funny.
Well, I mean, I hope she's not paralyzed. I hope this is just a bump in the road. and then Xander and Sarah can get back to actually like being a couple because they just like they just won't allow them to like just get settled together
Yeah.
because they didn't get married twice. They broke up. She came back as Renee Damone. Like it's just been he kidnapped Susan, who later died, but then she came back, and then she kidnapped Bonnie, who was wearing a blue suit and a clown mask. Like they have just been through a lot.
Yeah. But Paul said that, that they're, let's have faith. They're going to be okay because this is them fighting together.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
And I'm still loving. I'm loving Fiona in this like dynamic of she's gonna keep quiet. She's probably gonna let Brady take the fall for the most part until unless something else happens. But yeah, she's got a goal. She doesn't want her. And truth be told, she doesn't want her relationship with Xander to be well. She does that, and she doesn't want to go to jail, of course.
Yeah, and then it's all the more devastating because I don't think it was really hammered home just how powerful a decision it was for Xander to pick up the phone and say, "Mom, I need you."
Yeah, yep.
He probably hadn't said that in decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
A single mom who works 2 jobs.
Reba, she ain't.
Like, you know what she is, though? She's a survivor. Off of Champagne. But she definitely said, I'm sick of this sparkling wine.
Oh, yes. I thought she was going to get caught, though, when, what was it? She handed Maggie the champagne.
Oh.
I did think she was going to get caught that, or Maggie was going to get suspicious or something.
She said, let me go around this corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got Jada on the case.
Yeah.
Commissioner Hunter does sound nice.
Yeah.
It does. She's doing great. And Paulina's like,
Paulina.
Sounds like you're on
it. Yes.
But also when Paulina was telling Kristen what happened, I was like, are you supposed to be telling people?
I know. I thought that too. It's like, you're just telling them the whole case. I know. It's like,
girl.
Oh. It was an interesting interaction with, so Rachel's been emailing or writing Paulina, giving her tips on how to be.
She would. She would.
Oh, God.
She said, listen here, honey. I'm going to be mayor one day, so I need you to have this right by the time I get in office. Rachel is something else.
Mm-hmm. Now she's a snitch. Like, would she say my daddy has a great car? That was inadvertent, but that was funny.
Yes. Look, if channeled correctly, this little girl can be president one day. If channeled incorrectly, she could be
the next
mayor.
Stefano. Yeah.
Be a mayor.
She definitely could. 1,000%.
Yeah. But yeah, another one we're like interested to see, like, okay, what's gonna happen next? Is she fully paralyzed? What's gonna happen with Fiona? What's gonna happen with Brady?
It doesn't look good. I can tell you that. It doesn't look good. Nope. Well, we're gonna see how that develops. It feels like a developing week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of developing, the Gabi we know and love.
And we do love her.
We do. Again, shout out to Sherry Jimenez Ferris. Everyone has been talking about that interview since it happened. And she has been very grateful and gracious about it. So we really appreciate her for that.
Yeah.
If you missed the interview, go back and check it out. It is an hour and 15 minutes of amazingness and a 2.5-hour show.
Yes.
Speaking of someone who's wreaking havoc and ruckus and chaos, damn Connie. No one told her to tell Gabi.
Nope.
Ma'am, that is not for you to say. But then I keep forgetting. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
And she wants to see Gabi go down for what
Exactly,
she
yeah.
thinks she did to Lee.
Yes.
Yes.
But Connie also reminds me of y'all. Are y'all familiar with Veronica on TikTok, the woman that works in the office and doesn't take any mess?
Mm-mm.
So on TikTok, there's like this character Veronica is basically what we would love to say at corporate jobs.
Okay.
So one of them was like they were on a Zoom call and the boss was like, Veronica, did you turn that report in to Janice? And then Veronica was like, I turned that in 2 weeks ago. Okay, well, we'll talk about it offline. She said, no. You were willing to call me out, but you don't want to call Janice out in front of everybody. Why? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's how Connie was. Connie was very much like, oh, Melinda Trask is calling? Nope. I have already called in sick. Melinda Trask showed up at her door. She said, baby, I'm off the clock. What you doing here? I've already called in sick. That means I'm not working. What you doing here at my home with my cardboard cutout of Lee?
Oh dear.
Julie Dove should bring the Lee cardboard cutout to Day of Days.
Please.
I feel like if there was a cardboard cutout of Lee, I think everybody people would line up to take a picture with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Dishin Days cardboard.
We don't have the budget for that.
Well, no. First of all, I do not want to be a 6'2" cutout standing in somebody's house.
Yeah, I second that. That's
No,
a
thank
little-
you. But Miss Connie done spilled the beans, and Gabi at first played it cool. She gave them one last chance to confess before she finally said, "You cheating whore."
I like how she played Kristen. That was good. It was like, tell me what you know. Here's you need me more than I need you in this situation. So I need you to tell me the truth here.
Yeah, she's got her there.
She said, in my contract, section 5.2b states. I said, first of all, I can't recite a contract at all. But Gabi said, check the section. I ain't got to do my business here, baby. I can take Gabi Chic somewhere else. And your whole thing, the fact that you are now CEO, relies on the restoration of Gabi Chic. So chic on that.
And I like that Kristen was honest too. She was still sticking up for Stefan and Ava a bit. I like that. It wasn't, she didn't sort of delve into the salaciousness of it. She was being honest. Like, it happened one time. They've both been like agony over it. Like, yeah. If you can learn to get over it.
You, Kristen, would accept that?
That I did like too. I was like, okay, she got you there. Like, as much as you're making great points to Gabi, that one was the trump card. No pun intended.
Yeah. Kristen had such a benign reaction when John was cheating on her with Marlena. That had no consequences at all.
Side note, speaking of Kristen and Marlena, there's a part of me that sometimes goes, so are we just going to forget the decades of rivalry between Marlena and Kristen to where Marlena is just comfortable having this woman sit up in her house?
Yeah, I did think of that when they came to the door. I think it's like it's sort of like you just kind of have to, it's like the baby mamba syndrome, you kind of just have to deal, or baby daddy, you kind of just have to deal with them when they're in your family. You can't do anything about it, especially when the kid's that young.
Yeah.
You can't disassociate the kid from the parent yet. So it's like, okay, Kristen's the mom. We got to deal with Kristen now and put on a happy face when Rachel's around. And
yeah, I mean, the time will come when Rachel will get older and, hopefully the co-parenting situation becomes a little more two-sided instead of one-sided. And they won't have to deal with that anymore, but we're not there yet.
No. But yeah, it is a different show when she opened the door and she's like, "Oh, Marlena, sorry I interrupted you," and she's like, "Come on in." Like that's not their relationship. Yeah.
No. I want her to always look at Kristen and be like, what?
Listen, Marlena's just relieved she's not after John anymore. Like she's like,
Yes.
he's like, listen, I don't want you with Brady either, but damn, like at least it's not my husband.
Are we going to talk about the husband?
Nah.
That was a Real Housewives reference.
Yeah.
Well, when we ended things, it was just the kickoff to what Gabi has in store for Ava and Stefan.
They're kind of playing this one fast too. I was expecting like a scheme of some sort. I wasn't expecting her to reveal it at the end.
Gabi been in prison too long. She ain't got time for that.
She's
and we don't know that a scheme isn't coming. We don't know that a scheme isn't coming because
not that definite scheme with them not knowing she knows. But
I mean, because there's very obvious consequences for Stefan, but when she left Kristen, she did tell her end that conversation with, and this is exactly what I want you to do. So I predict she struck some kind of a deal with Kristen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's definitely got a revenge plan. Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking scheme more of like, don't let them know you know and play that up, but she's going in a different direction.
Yeah. Revenge. Full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that I'm actually like really afraid for in this scenario is Melinda.
Yeah.
Because
because she came over to the house and fired her, and she already slaying people.
And it would be one thing. Connie has already proven that she can kill someone just to get them out of the way, like she did with Barbarette. So it would be one thing that would be enough. Melinda firing her would be enough. But Connie has already stated that she is also out for revenge on Melinda herself. She just hasn't gotten to it yet. So now Melinda has put herself unknowingly in the horrible position of being in front of a murderer.
Yeah. I was like, Melinda, you don't want to go in that house, girl. I know you keep saying let me in, but you don't want to go in that house.
No. It's like watching the reverse horror movie.
Yeah.
Don't go in the house. The killer isn't already in the house. You're trying to push your way into the killer's house. Don't go into the killer's house.
Don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
I hope they don't kill off Melinda.
Oh no, I hope no. I think we've had enough death in that storyline.
Because I got very worried because she already discovered that Connie is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, which is why her termination is effective immediately. And she lied on her resume, and they basically said she's crazy, and we only gave her a good referral so that she would leave us alone.
So now we know officially she's been crazy.
Yep.
No, would she say she was the lead buyer or something like that? And they were like, she did clerical work for 3 days. Okay, I was like, girl, now there's a lot. There's embellishing, and then there's flat out lying.
Lying. Never mind. All right. Well, that was that for that storyline. I think all of these top storylines are about to get juicy starting next week because they all left us in a moment of like, okay.
Yep.
We shall see. We shall see. All right. Before we head into our tidbits, just a couple of reminders. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you take a listen to us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Show some love over to JLJ Media on YouTube, our wonderful former co-host and my chocolate twin, James Lott Jr. And, of course, don't forget to tell us your thoughts and comment below. Moving over into our tidbits. You get DID. You get DID. Everybody get DID. Although this interesting. How Leo doesn't know he was
I
watching
know.
Drag Race with Hattie is beyond me.
Uh, si- yeah, this. So I like them together.
Yes.
I will say when they first put Marlena with him, I thought, like I said, and I said it here, I thought it was unrealistic, and I thought it was more Deidre and Greg than it was like
Mhm.
Leo and Marlena. But this makes sense. Hattie and Leo make sense than Dr.
Mhm.
Marlena Evans sitting, inviting him on the couch to watch Drag Race. Like
Mhm.
that never rang true to me, but I guess that was the setup to this, which makes sense. Them two together makes sense, but this him not knowing or catching on or is a little much.
And especially like, first of all, Leo is very smart. Like he has put
Mhm.
things together that people have
Yeah,
not. And the
right.
fact that even when he saw Marlena at the pub, oh, you changed clothes again. Oh, you and then saw Hattie again. Oh, you changed back in. It's like,
No, like, girl.
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't. He has no knowledge of Hattie.
but
I
you ain't got to have
guess
knowledge
like
of Hattie to realize something ain't right in the buttermilk.
Hmm.
hmm.
Like,
It's always
like
fun. Yeah.
it would almost be like Araceli if someone sat here and pretended to be you and like made sense. Like I would be like, you're not Araceli. You're an imposter. You actually answered the question directly.
Mm-mm.
No, I would know right away. Just like maybe if someone tried to be me and they were a little more demure and mindful, you'd be like, you're not Tony. Mm-mm.
Definitely not.
Nobody would want to be Justin, so there's always one. Not that side. Hmm. um, I snorted on that one. Sorry, guys. Um, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It was fun seeing them together, but just yeah,
it
like
was. I just wish, I just wish he knew. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Poor Leo's brain.
Like it's like they dragged like he could have found out when she was there at the like I understand the first interaction maybe being a little weird, but once she sort of entered his hotel room and sat down and they talked to like they could have got there and it still would have been interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Him knowing she's Hattie still would have been fun and they could have carried on, but
Yeah.
no. But hopefully this is like, we're always talking about expanding Leo and giving him something. He doesn't have Gwen. We know he's been calling her, trying to get that start again. So maybe Hattie is, we'll see Hattie as his new BFF, maybe.
Everybody needs a friend.
Yeah.
Anybody needs a friend, I will be here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to our next
Yeah.
tidbit. We getting a little
Oh,
soap
sorry.
dish. Oh, you
Very
reading
much.
reading the comments. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Um, I mean, at this point, they might as well just have an open call and just have everybody come in and audition for various characters. I would just
Yeah.
love to see a montage of that.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
who's who of Salem.
Yeah. I feel like we don't need to see every single behind the scenes. Like if it drags on past this week, I don't know that's going to keep the fans interested. I understand laying the groundwork for this and allowing us to see people in their respective roles. There is a point when it becomes a bit much, and we're teetering on that.
Yeah, I think again, if they just had a designated like day
Yes.
of auditions, but had these same things play out where Johnny says, "Oh, they're having auditions today for Body and Soul. I'm just gonna go down and see if I can catch them during a break or something like that. Hence, Bonnie comes in. That's where he directs. We have that. We had, Hattie and as Marlena like happen.
Mhm.
The conversation of like, no, but like a lot of this stuff I wish had happened like right there, and just a montage of people
Yeah.
Yeah.
of like, people like auditioning, and then input Hattie, Bonnie, um, even when Leo tried out for it,
Yeah.
and kind of assigning people stuff. Then I feel like it would have been interesting to see the town of Salem being super excited and like,
Yeah.
going after the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The exception, I think, would be, well, maybe not the exception, because I feel like it did drag. It took too long to get there,
Mhm.
but when we got there, Miss Judy Evans.
Yeah.
Miss
Mm.
Judy Evans. This woman, people forget, this woman has been on soaps for 4 decades.
Yes.
And it's for a reason. She knows what to do. She's been playing very lighthearted, very comical Bonnie for the last couple of years, but man, can she bring it?
Oh, she did. Like
Yeah.
I feel like James Reynolds had real tears in his eyes
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
watching that.
Yeah.
And side note, shout out to Carson Boatman, who like I was like, I'm getting the director. He was just
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, let's take it from the top, Bonnie. I
Yeah.
was like, and then they cut to, and he was sitting like,
Yeah.
let's try, and I was like, oh, Mr. Boatman,
Mhm.
Mr. Boatman can direct me.
Yeah. See, like it's like all of these people,
Not
like
like that.
we know that we now know that Bonnie can act. We now know that Carson as Johnny can direct. We knew right off the bat that Leo could write.
Well,
The man is a wordsmith.
remember, Bonnie and Hattie can act because they both portrayed
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Yes,
I
exactly.
love that. That's what
Yeah.
that's the selling point.
Yeah.
Well, in case you forgot, I fooled you all in thinking I was Dr. Marlena Evans for quite some
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Insert Bonnie. Well, remember, I even fooled the love of my life,
Yeah.
Justin, into thinking that I was his beloved Adrian. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean, she
now a
got a
selling
point,
point.
right? I mean,
Yeah, because like
use your history.
to
Use
do
what
it
you
in
know.
real life is fraud. To do it on the stage is acting.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you guys. It's dragging a bit, but
Yeah.
just as a nice piece for Judy Evans this week, it was worth it to like give her something sort of she can sort of sink her teeth into and kind of display. It was really cool.
But I'm also kind of like, what else are they gonna do? Like, what's actually going to happen with Body and Soul? You know what I mean?
I'm wondering if this is just going to be not just going to be, but if this is going to be like another, if the body and soul plot is going to be sort of like another workplace, and that's
Right.
just where these characters converge. And you know what I mean? Like it'll be like the paper is one set, now body and soul is this set, and all we see is the behind the scenes of it. We'll
Yeah.
see Hattie and Bonnie interact. We'll see Kate giving Bonnie direction, or we'll see, Johnny going over scenes with Hattie and Bonnie, kind of a thing. But I'm not thinking we're gonna maybe see anyone else. Maybe
Yeah.
it's be like the cast is right over there. Or they're down the hall at the studio or something.
Can you imagine if they never make it to air and all of a sudden they're like, we're canceled? Like, do 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 do.
Oh no. Well, there could be a plot. Yeah.
It could be,
Mhm.
but they worked this hard to rejuvenate it, so
Yeah.
you got to play into it.
Yeah.
Um.
Hmm.
All right. Well, Kate's convinced now because at first she was very much like Bonnie. No Bonnie, no Bonnie. And Abe was like, well, she's good
Mm-hmm.
and hired.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Mhm.
All right, we're done with that tidbit, right?
Yeah.
Moving on to our. Oh, is this the last one?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
last tidbit. Like a virgin. Hey. touched for the very first time.
I
Holly
so
wanted
appreciate
it.
this.
It wanted to feel good inside. Leo said no. No hurry.
No, Leo said no.
Let's wait. Oh, I'm
Tate
sorry. Not
said
Leo.
no. Tate said no. And yeah, definitely the character Leo would not say
Yeah.
no.
I meant
And
Tate said no.
yeah, Tate said no, which I love this. I loved it so much. I love that they had that conversation. I love that Tate was the one to put the brakes on it and say, you know,
Let's wait a while.
yeah. Like it's not that he doesn't want to sleep with her, but he definitely doesn't want it to come off of something that Sophia said, like a challenge kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Girl, stop letting this woman rule your life. I'm like, you're now gonna like have sex because she suggested it. Like,
I'm so sick of Sophia.
I know. I'm like, I'm tired of it.
I'm so sick of
Again, I like Tate and Holly, but this part for me is the part that's starting to drag. Like, it's like, okay, what else are we doing here? I don't know. I would very much like it if this sex topic comes and goes immediately. It's okay to have teenagers who aren't. It's okay to have teenagers who aren't so hung up on sex, or they just do it and have a fine sex life that they're using protection and being protected, and it's fine. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely not the last conversation on it, but it was good that they had a first conversation on it.
Yeah.
And now looking at it, the weeks are going by, guys. I really do think that Tate and Holly might actually be pulling the whole summer off.
Well, I actually thought about that. Here's where it is like the wrench in the thing is they're also part of the Sarah, because Holly took the key and the key was missing. That was the catalyst. So I feel like there may be something there, whether it's either guilt from Holly from knowing that her aunt is paralyzed because she went back to look for a key that she stole. I think there's going to be some stuff there. Yeah, so I predict they're going to be brought into that storyline, and that's not going to be over.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on how much guilt she feels, because it's not like Holly ran Sarah over.
Well, no.
Yeah, so I don't think I really don't think Holly has that much to feel guilty about.
Let's wait a while before it's too late. That's all I have to say. I don't have much about this storyline.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're waiting. I'm glad they're able to pull off the summer. They are having a wonderful time at the Horton cabin.
Yeah.
Maybe Tate will come back and audition for Body and Soul.
Lord.
All right. Well, that was your week of days, everybody. Yay. And it's now time to go into our favorite part of our show, which are the segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Snap!
Now, there have been many of people who have stopped to chit chat with various paintings, but nothing topped what this person said to this painting. Check it out.
You always look like you know something the rest of us don't.
Yeah.
So Annalyn McCord, the mystery woman, Abigail, for looking up and saying, why do you always look like you know something that no one else does?
Perfect.
I could not stop laughing at that. And I rewinded that part so many times that I was like, yes, you better casually come down into a house you ain't been at for a full 24 hours, look at the head of this house and say, why do you look like you know something before anyone else does?
Yeah. Perfect.
So for that, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh man, that would have been great if I was down by the oh snap. Hold on. And that's why she gets Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap!
Hilarious. And now it's time for
Those were the days.
All right, everyone, I'm taking you back to August 15th, 1999, where Mike and Carrie were exposed for kissing. And Mike had to resign from the chief of staff job. Now, we all know this was a plot from Nurse Allie. If you remember Nurse Allie back then, she was in cahoots with both Craig and Nancy. And this was a little bit of a scandal just because Carrie technically was still married to Austin when this was going on. And so it came off across as she was having an affair. But if you remember, Austin actually left her and ran away with Sammy at this point. So that sort of freed up Carrie to sort of kind of get close to Mike. And yeah, they were kind of trying to keep things on the low to be respectful, but they were exposed by Nurse Allie, Craig, and Nancy, and then sort of forcing Mike to resign and leaving the the chief of staff spot sort of wide open for Craig to kind of come in and steal it. So yeah. Now, full circle moment, we now know that Mike and Nancy are together. And so weird full circle how some things happen. So yeah. That was August 15, 1999, where Mike resigned after being exposed with Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
and
Those were the days.
and now it's time for It's a Gift.
This week's It's a GIF goes to Miss Hattie Adams. And what I can only be describing this as my reaction to some other soaps right now.
Remind me, what was she reacting to with that? What was
Caviar.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
She
Yeah.
said,
Which
"Look."
is that's also my reaction to caviar.
Ooh, I've never had it.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Snails, surprisingly delicious.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
You said it's delicious?
Yeah.
Snails. She was saying snails are.
Mm-mm. It's a gift. And now it's time for news and gossip.
Okay, we are starting off with some casting news. We got word this week that Kyle Lowder is back on set this week as Rex Brady. We know that, again, they taped so far in advance, so we are expecting to see him in his scene sometime in the new year. We're looking at probably April or May, but Rex Brady is back for, we don't know how long, but we'll see. But yeah, Kyle Lowder is on set working as Rex Brady this past week. So yeah, welcome back, Kyle. Next up, we have some also big news from our friend Chriselle Staus, who's had a really big summer this year. We've talked about her all summer, everything from celebrating her birthday to her 1-year anniversary with her partner G-Flip, to starting her stint on Neighbors this past summer, to now the trailer for season 8 of Selling Sunset debuted this week. You can catch Chriselle and the fellow realtors at the Oppenheim Group for another season of drama, fun, and amazing real estate. And then season 8 streams all 11 episodes on Netflix, of course, September 6th. So look out for that. And last but not least, big congrats to Kerry Christopher. Not only will we see him in the next couple weeks back as Thomas DeMira, but he also booked a new ABC series called High Potential, which is going to premiere this fall. And once we get more info on when that premieres, we'll let you know. But yeah, big congrats to Kerry. He's such a talented young actor and just works and works and works. And yeah, so big congrats to him.
Mm-hmm. Next up, the lovely Judy Evans recently did an extensive interview with Women's World. In the article, she goes all in on her 4 decades in soaps, her surprising childhood history as a circus performer, and the devastating loss of her son in 2019. It's a really long, great interview, and you can check out the full article on womensworld.com now.
Yeah. Also, we want to give a big shout out and happy birthday to our friend of the show, Jackie Harry. Celebrated her birthday this past week. So big happy birthday to Jackie.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, guys, we have our reminders. Listen up. The weekend of Day of Days is going to go by quickly. So we have our the big event, Day of Days, which will be November 2nd at Peacock Theater at LA Live, hosted by our very own Tony Moore. We will give you updates on that as they come. Please go to our Day of Days guide on our Dishin Days social media platforms. Michael Mattis was lovely enough to set that up for you guys. The day before Day of Days, we have two events. Starstruck Fan Events will be hosting Yesterdays with a Twist event. And for tickets and info, please go to starstruckfanevents.com for that. That night, again, Friday, November 1st, the Ladies of Hollywood will be hosting a cocktail and dinner party that night. And you can get tickets and information if you email Lori Beth at lorimatrix@yahoo.com. And as we have already said, the day players will be performing the night of Day of Days, Saturday, November 2nd. Their show is at the Bourbon Room here in Los Angeles. If you cannot wait to see them, they have upcoming shows in Atlanta, including a couple of dates in Florida, a few of which will be joined by new castmate Leo Howard. So for tickets and information, go to thedayplayersband.com for that. Whew. All right. Next up, we have, yes, that's going to be a big weekend, folks. Please go to all of the websites and do your research. Next up, Star Entertainment will have a couple of Zooms coming up. Wednesday, August 21st, they will have a Zoom with Remington Hoffman and Eric Martzoff. Christopher Shaw and Eric Martzoff will be on for a Zoom Tuesday, September 3rd. You will have the duo of Wally Kurth and Judy Evans, Wednesday, September 18th, and the Hot Men of Days Nashville event, which we have been advertising, is the weekend of September 28th through 29th, with an additional acoustic concert with Carson Boatman and Scott Reeves Sunday morning. Tickets information at eventbrite.com/ca/Star Image Entertainment. Elsewhere, Coastal Entertainment has the Raven Bowens and Carson Boatman Zoom event scheduled for Sunday, September 22nd. Go to coastalentertainment.com/events to join that. The Samantha and Friends people have the Golden Age of Hollywood, September 14th through 15th. Winter Wonderland, September 3rd through 4th. And the Haunted Mansion, September 13th through 14th. Not this year, the coming year, 2025. Mark that on your calendars. Not this year. You will see an overlap if you try to go on their website. So go to samanthafriends.org for tickets and information for all three of those events. Camp Dream, which is a organization for kids with physical and developmental disabilities, will host a fundraiser fan event with Days' Patricia Darbo and Greg Vaughn called Soaps in the South, October 5th through 6th in Alpharetta, Georgia. For tickets and information, go to campdreamga.org/events. And finally, Spectrum Celebrity Events has a virtual fan event with Zach Tinker, Saturday, September 7th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time, hosted by who? Ooh, who's that hosting?
Who?
Our very own Tony Moore. That's him. That's you. Tickets and information, go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com. Guys, it's going to be a busy few months.
It is. There are so many ways for you to meet some of your favorite day stars. So make sure you take full advantage of that. Make sure you check out the website and let us know if you are planning to attend Day of Days or any of the events that we have mentioned. Now, at some point, we will post all of these on our social media platforms. That way you'll never forget how to meet your favorite day star. And after all that, that has been news and gossip. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to find out what's coming up this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
I've never been much of a soap guy, but I guess I better start tuning in.
You two were doing the dirty while I was locked up.
Trouble in paradise?
Dr. Evans, are you in there?
What do you feel like doing?
Oh my.
Paint. Sweet.
That's a great car, all right.
Oh, God, no.
I think we just broke this case wide open.
I love you.
Everything's going according to plan.
Holy moly. You're gonna get addicted like that.
Okay. A lot going on.
A lot happening.
Yep. I am so excited for this week.
Me too. I think it's gonna be a very, very good week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for anyone wondering,
Okay.
should I say it?
Well, I'm wondering how you're gonna say this, because we talked about this right before the show.
Yes. So for anyone wondering, I'm just so excited that we get more Spanish on the show. I am, I revel because it's not always used correctly. Like people like equate Spanglish and they just do it incorrectly a lot of the time. And I'm really happy to see Sherry bring some actual Spanish into the show. Now it's not a nice word.
I mean, it means bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I've heard it used.
Technically, the technical definition is whore.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, I mean,
I'd say his same applies.
the same applies.
Yeah.
And like, so I'm, just using my Spanish 101. Because I've always heard it as punta, but she said punto, which is the male version.
Actually, you're adding the N. There is no N there.
Oh, well, we like to add letters. S's to the end of things, things like that. So it's puto.
Yeah.
That's
Please don't call anyone that in real life. They'll jack you up.
So I can't call Justin a puto?
No, you shouldn't.
But am I calling him a whore or a bitch or both?
You're calling him, technically speaking, you're calling him a whore. And yeah.
Then I might be correct.
Look, guys, sit down one day, watch a telenovela.
Do they say it on telenovelas? Do they go puto?
It depends. It depends. And it also depends, like we would call each other certain names, like if you're like cool like that, some kind of things. That's different if you're telling in Spanish. There's no kidding around with the language sometimes. So all my non-Spanish speaking people, be very careful not to throw words around.
Well, that's just like, I mean, maybe in our community is like, hola puto.
No.
Hey bitch. Or hey whore. Hey whore bitch.
I've heard this word more today than I usually do.
Well, hopefully next week she uses it too.
Well, listen, now when people watch, they'll have a translation. So when the scene comes up next week, they'll say, I know what that is. I learned it from Araceli.
Look, no, because then I'm going to get calls from people's mothers and aunties and saying, you taught my kid this Spanish curse word.
Well, if they're watching Days, I think they have bigger
I'm
issues.
pretty sure they learned a lot worse.
Side note, Megan Bizarro, if you're watching this with your kid, please don't watch this with your kid this week.
It'll be okay. It'll be fine. We promise. But we also talked about there are various, like you said, depending on what country people are in, it can mean very many different things. But the long and short of it, it's either whore or bitch, right?
Yeah. Just don't call me that and we're good.
John Del Rey.
Oh, we would never call you that, puta. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our week of days.
Oh, I'm Get it from my
Before
Alex.
we head out, let me apologize now before somebody's like,
God.
"How dare you?"
Oh,
Oh Lord.
Anyway, Justin Lee Harrell, where can they find you?
I'm at Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
Araceli, where can they find you?
you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323Araceli. And please don't tag me with that word.
Oh God.
Please do. And any other translations of words you need, see Araceli. And make sure you show him some love. He's been gone for a minute, but he's not forgotten. Say hi to Michael Mattis, ML Mattis on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. And you can follow us, Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, X, Twitter, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another full dish of Dishin Days. We'll be back next week live or later, depending on how you watch us, to give you a full scope of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. And don't be a puta. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.